So thank you and good morning to everybody who's taken time out to join myself and Ben on our Maas360 webinar. My name's Jamie Philcock and I'm one of the two technical specialists here at Pescado.
So my name's Ben, I'm a technical support engineer at Pescado and I get involved with installing and maintaining MDM systems. So we'll carry on from this and today we're going to discuss our agenda. So today we'll discuss the questions we face when we talk around MDM. What is MDM and why do we use Maas360? So MDM, mobile device management. So we know it's a management tool, but what does it actually manage? So we're looking at mobile devices like laptops, mobile phones, tablets, and these are all on iOS or Mac, Microsoft devices, Windows devices. We've got Android, LG, Samsung, all the big players in that. MDM by definition. So we're trying to control what the employee installs, what they spend their time on, making sure they browse safely and keeping them all within the business parameters of what we want them to do and what they proactively should be doing. So this definition here is widely known around the industry of MDM. Why do we need it? So we think that most IT and business networks have been designed to enhance and deter security threats. And although not every business has a robust security measure in place, the majority take the basic steps to keep their data, company data, safe. So these include firewalls, two-factor security and authentication, key generation on VPNs, basically keeping your password hot every time that you use it. And we think that almost all staff have access to emails on their mobile phones or on these devices, or we store client data on these devices. If you think of all Office 365 users, they've got access to all their documents on their device on the go, so they can access it wherever they are. Why wouldn't we add these devices onto our protection list?
And when you consider last year alone that 1.8 billion was invested into security and your core network just to protect your business data, it is actually a staggering.
Yeah, there's a lot of money invested. So if we look at now who is in the market, so actually when you Google MDM or mobile device management, you're actually bombarded with loads of companies in the market, and they all like to say they're the market leader. We've picked out a few here that you're more than likely going to come across. So we've got Microsoft Intune, we've got AirWatch, Mobile Iron, SOTI will come across quite a lot, and you've got Maas360, and to be honest that's the one that we lead with and the one that we recommend the most. We've resold them all, we've looked at them all, we've got access to them all, and IBM Maas360 is the one that we truly recommend.
Okay, so as Ben said, all platforms have their strengths and weaknesses. Here at Pescado we decided to partner with Maas360. We believe it's the best balance between features and ease of use. So I'm going to touch a little bit on the key features from Maas360. So starting off with secure email, it does exactly what it says on the tin. So you're essentially securing all your emails on your mobile devices. You look at secure documents, which basically through the portal you can import any company document which you've published and pushed out to all of your devices. So as an example, a health and safety policy might be pushed out. If you look at the secure browser, this allows you to access the web on your devices. However, it will allow you to lock down websites that are visited, so you can blacklist things such as gambling, social media, sports sites. So it just allows you to keep your staff focused and more productive. And finally, if we look at the secure app catalog, again, here you can choose what apps are deployed to your business devices out of the box. You can also whitelist a range of applications that your users can install onto their devices.
Okay. So let's cover some of the features of Maas360. So if we start, if I pick out some ones, so remote device management. So here you are able to fully control what goes on that device. So we can look at remote wipe, remote lock, We can look at what apps are installed, which James touched on. We can look at what documents are put on the device. If we look at remote app management, powered by TeamViewer, you're now able to access the device from anywhere from your device list. You've got access to every single device which is on your portal. If we look at the quick app deployment, from here, from within the portal, you're able to deploy apps which are business critical, or what apps you want the end user to have access to from within the portal within a few clicks. Bring your own device support. Here we're able to bring your own personal device and make it a business device. So you're giving the end user that wants a desirable device the opportunity to bring it to work and say, right, okay, I want to use this device as a work device. You've got containers which you can then put business documents in that will only be able to access while your device is enrolled. Okay, if we look at simple device enrollment, and this will lead us on to the next slide. DEP, which is the device enrollment program, and Android Enterprise. This here is where you would get Apple and Android devices to enroll without actually having to do the hard work. Here you're able to get all your devices in from the serial number and able to then manage them from within the portal before the end user actually has to do anything with it. If we look at the simple device enrollment, so SMS and email, we're able to send a text message out, so a mass text message out to all the staff that we're enrolling to, saying please click on this link, here's your username and password. Once they click on the link, the device then becomes enrolled, and we can see that then in the portal. Same with email, and you've also got a QR code reader as well, so the device can hover over something, it would then pick up the application and auto enroll on. So these are really key, easy enrollment ideas or procedures which the end user or the IT manager can then get involved with. So I'm going to quickly move across to the portal. I'll do a quick demonstration of the portal. Okay. So if we go to the home page, so what we face here now is the widgets which are customizable. So in here you're able to see what's going on with your business and able to drill down to certain areas. If we go down to the bottom, you've got the Watson Advisor. Now these are notifications which are bespoke to yourself. So any sort of updates or any device which is not compliant, or if there's a threat in the market which is bespoke to you, this is where the Watson Advisor would tell you that there is a virus coming out and it's only going to affect Apple devices. If you haven't got any Apple devices, obviously that will not appear in your list. So if we move across the top and move on to device inventory. In the device inventory, for data protection reasons, obviously we can't tell you the full user list, but here's our demo account here. So in here you can see all the devices which we have enrolled. So if we look back, we can see what email address they're registered against, whether they're enrolled, when was the last time they actually reported to us, and yeah, we've got full control of obviously what device they're using, and all devices are on the Android platform here. So if we take Simon's device, for example, and click on View, notice here that our options have changed. So in here we're able to locate the device, if we wanted to, send a message to the device to say, hi Simon, are you going to be in the office today? And that will then appear on his front screen of his device. We can buzz the device, but also if we click on more here, we then face with some different options. So obviously if we want to lock the device or wipe the device, this comes perfect into saying if a device is lost, there's no data protection breach in this case, because we're able to remote wipe or remote lock the device. So any scenario that an employee comes to you with, you should have the tools here to actually answer that scenario and actually get rid of any threat that's there. Okay, so if we go back to the top and click on the directory, similar to the screen before, we're able to see all the lists or all the devices which are enrolled or part of our directory. In here we can also add a user. So here's the criteria that we fill in when we add a user into the database. So So you've got full name and username. So this is where the field will pick up for emails. So within Maas360, we're also able to auto assign email accounts. So without actually the user having to do anything, you're also enrolled into emails or also enrolled into any sort of applications it needs. So you've got domain, email, and in here where it comes down to SMS, if you type the mobile number in here, this is where the text would then be sent out to enroll the device. If we touch on security and policies, so in here is the policies which you would assign to each user. Now if we talk about policies, policies can be assigned to different users or different categories of employees. So you might have a policy in place for MDs and CEOs, and then you might have policies for engineers and field-based staff. The policy will enable the device to either characteristics of the phone, so we're looking at cameras, SD cards. So if I look at a default policy, bear with us. So in here we can configure the passcode, which the requirements of the device. We can look at the security, so enforce SD card reader encryption, enable power save mode, so you've got full access to the device and can control what the end user is able to do. So we can disable a camera, and obviously application compliance. You can choose apps which are able to be installed, so if you move on to the apps and the apps catalog, in here, like we said before, each policy can have a restriction on what apps are allowed. So all of our Pescado apps or Pescado users only have access to download the Unity mobile app, Smart UC1 app, and we give them access to Google Chrome. So we can also add Google Maps or any other application in there, and all we do is search add, choose the store that it's going to come from, and just type in the application. So any app that's in the Play Store, any app that you've got access to, we can upload this. And it kind of works the same with contact lists and things like that. So any contact list, if you've got a 250 long contact list, if you want that to then broadcast that out to every single user or every single device, we can do this from in here. If we look at the documentation, or the docs vault, we call it, what Jamie touched on before, this is the secure document management. In here you can add internal policies and procedures, any internal docs or external docs that you want your employees to have. This vault here will just be added onto the phone, and they've got it on their phone, they've got access to it whenever they need it. If we touch about expenditure, this is kind of like a data cap or data control. So you've got an employee which is, they've got a 2 gig limit on their device, they're hitting 80% of this. So we notify them to say they're hitting 80% of their 2 gig limit. What we can also do then is only give them business critical applications. So straight away we take off their browser, but we give them email and map access. So they've basically gone into what we call a limp mode, should we say, where they're able to access business critical applications, but we're actually taking away the YouTube or the social media applications which are actually burning their data through. So here we're able to create rules, so when they hit that scenario, we're taking them out of the firing line. And this obviously can be bespoke. You don't have to have set ones. You can have set ones for MDs and CEOs. Obviously you've got different procedures for different members of staff. We've also got the reporting tool, which is exactly what it says there. You can report on certain things or certain aspects revolving on that device and what's going on. So that is the portal. So if we go back to the presentation. And Jamie's going to hand over now.
Okay, so not every business is the same. Not every business needs the same level of security. So Pescado offers 3 different variants of the Maas360 package. So every single pack that we release includes laptop management, device management, app management, and patch update management. Also includes cloud content, Watson Advisor that Ben touched on a little bit earlier, and your mobile expense management tools as well. If you want to look at something a little bit more robust, pack 2 includes everything as we just discussed, However, it also includes the secure browser. And finally, pack 3 will include your container app, so you can have your own personal device or your business device, which will have a container to allow you to carry out all of your working procedure on a day-to-day basis, as well as your personal handset as well. A very good tool, which we think is a really good selling point, is the TeamViewer remote device management, and this will allow you to integrate with your users from an IT person's perspective a lot easier. And it all starts from £2.50 per device, which is less than 10 pence per day per device for peace of mind of controlling your company's data.
Okay, so we've now hit the end of our presentation. Is there any questions or anything that you really want to know? Obviously, if you want more information, please contact your account manager, but we're here to happily have a discussion and happily help. Okay, well, thank you very much for joining us. I hope we've answered all your questions, and if there's anything you need from us or anything you would like to know more about, please let us know.
We'll obviously be sending out data sheets, a link to a trial of Maas360. We can also send out a copy of the slide deck, and we'll also be sending out a questionnaire to everyone who's attended, just get some feedback.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much, guys, and thank you very much for joining, and hopefully speak to you soon. Thank you very much.